if we could send the sunshine like this back to us for the next few days, that would be wonderful. 169.8 kilometers of racing on this circuit. Let's take a look then at the circuit in the centre of Wollongong as we go past the university, the Botanic Gardens, go up over towards the top of Mount Pleasant, dive down the other side, past the Innovation Campus on the right-hand side, through TAFE as well. And men's under-23 World Championship road race in terrible conditions gets underway here in Wollongong in Australia. 1.2 kilometres of neutralised before we get this race really underway. 1:02 was the start time for the riders, and immediately the pace starts. First rider from Rwanda starting to feel the pace already. A little bit of a shock for some of the maybe smaller nations who've never felt a tempo like this right at the start of a race, because this has gone off like an absolute rocket. Just trying to hang on is Tiana da Silva of South Africa, but it's still Germany with this strong team who are setting the tempo, trying to make everybody's lives very difficult indeed. The German squads: Felix Engelhardt, Hannes Wilch, Janus Peter, Maurits Ballerstedt, Michael Hessmann. We've also got Pierre-Pascal Kuip and Tim Thorn Tuttenberg. It was pretty much in exactly the same place, wasn't it?
Yeah, there must be some slippery part of the road. You can see he's lost a little bit of skin, trying to get his chain untangled and back onto the chain ring.
It's a Danish rider who hit the deck, so it was Jakob Madsen. Madsen hits the deck and has to get up now and chase. He's a really strong rider, one of the favoured riders from Denmark. He won the Antalya road race in Turkey, and he also won a stage in Valle d'Aosta. 9 laps of racing to go in the under-23 World Road Race Championships. Little group of riders just at the front.
And you can really hear those disc brakes screeching as they come into the corners. Very, very loud there as they pass through the finish line.
At the front, Swiss rider, looks like Fabian Weiss. Peter Kellerman at the front for the Czech Republic. You're a solo rider like Fran Miolovic here from Croatia. What do you do?
Well, you can see, look behind, he's not taking anyone he doesn't want to take up to the breakaway, so he will just try and ride his way across now.
Riding on that Bahrain Victorious bike, he's got the Bahrain Victorious helmet on, there's no doubt which squad he's in now. Joins the leaders, 6 riders now at the front: Van den Bosch, Kellerman, Wilch, Lebert, Weiss, and now Miolovic. Those riders in the front group.
Oh, there, one of those riders just hit that groove again in exactly the same spot.
Crash then for one of the Swiss riders.
So no doubt before tomorrow we'll have some commissaires out looking at that section of the road.
Falls then, and that's Arnold Tenon.
So there'll be a few riders in the peloton that are analysing how their teammates are feeling. If they're all good, they'll stay comfortable and protected in that peloton until it's time to chase this down.
8 laps of racing to go in the men's under-23 World Championship. Now really inspiring this young group of Eritreans onto even better things. Crossing the line at the end of the second lap. 1 minute and 33 seconds now the advantage. It's a significant one.
Oh, we've lost a rider
and
from Great
a crash
Britain.
here. Leo Hayter hits the deck, and he's one of the favourites in that team.
Oh, he's going to lose a bit of time there too by dropping the chain.
Let's just take a look at this. A touch of wheels maybe for Leo Hayter. Underway for Hayter then.
This Danish rider has had a crash. He's taking the opportunity to take his jacket off He'll pick up his sunglasses. His bike doesn't look too good. We'll have to check that out.
This is Carl Frederick Bevelt, 6th in the time trial, remember.
He's lost his... He's very relaxed, isn't he, about getting back into the group. He was trying to take his jacket off. That's what happened. It looks like...
If you're a fan of cycling, you know the Tour of Normandy is a very tough bike race. And if you win that, then you have got a big chance of being a top professional bike rider.
Well, look at this. We're seeing the same riders at the front. Germany just controlling. They've got a rider in the breakaway. Australia and Great Britain always well positioned. Netherlands just behind. Spain there as well.
Heading up to the completion of the third lap of racing. Our front group of riders, led by the rider in red, Fran Milovic. Going through to the front is Hannes Wilch. 7 laps of racing to go and 5-6 leaders. Wilch, Lebert, Kellerman, Milovic, all in that front group. It's incredible on the same circuit how a race can be so different to the junior race. The junior race was flat out for the entire time of the race, nothing controlled. Everything was just all about attacks and trying to win the race. This is so different as we make our way across the line. This time with 7 laps of racing to go. The average speed for the peloton at the moment, 41.711 kilometers an hour. For the front group of riders, 43.492.
Even the race favourite doing the work on the front. So that was Olav Kooi, who went through the finish line on the front. Strong rider from the Netherlands. He wants to close this down.
Kellerman's going to have a bike change or a wheel change.
It's a bike. Oh, he thinks it's a bike change.
He wants a bike. The mechanic thinks it's a wheel. Now he's gone with a full bike just because he's in the breakaway and he doesn't want to lose too much time. He wants to get back in that breakaway as quickly as possible. And then the mechanic will change the wheel, won't he?
Well, race radio is responsible for giving the time checks, and there is a specific staff out there on the road to pinpoint certain places. There's our favourite fan for today. She's done a fantastic job running alongside both the breakaway and the peloton each time up this climb. And she's not wearing out yet. She's already done 8 laps for the junior riders.
Just take the riders across the line this time and talk a little bit more about that. Here's our front group of riders, led by Fran Milovic, riding for Croatia, a member of the Bahrain Victorious World Tour team. The riders go across the line with 6 laps of racing to go. 3:04 is now the lead. The average speed, 43.039. It's calmed down a little. Looks like it's going to be a little bit slower as they come through with 6 laps of racing to go. The Netherlands are starting to pick up the tempo. This World Championship has still got a fair distance to run as the Netherlands lead across the line, and the gap is 3:07 with the average speed 41.653 kilometers an hour. We're inside the magic 100 kilometers to go. 98.6 kilometers of racing remaining. 3:01 is the advantage. Welcome along. This is the World Under-23 Men's Road Championships. The breakaway group of riders, Fran Milovic, Fabio van den Bosch, Fabian Weiss, Hannes Wilch and Peter Kellerman, with Mathis Lebert. 6 riders who've been on the move since pretty early in the race.
Great Britain now coming to the front and doing their share of the work to chase down this breakaway that's come down 30 seconds now. So this the halfway point of the race. We're seeing some of those teams come to the front and really put in some hard work.
They've decided now that the gap is too big, and Great Britain have decided to put on the tempo, up it, and see whether they can start to get rid of a few riders. And notably, the Slovenian team who were on the front. You can see them just trying to grit the teeth a little and stay towards the front. But they've dropped back a substantial amount of places. The riders approaching the line again to the voice of Macca, Dave McKenzie in the background. And also Randy Ferguson, the two voices in the background of this year's race. 2 minutes 41 seconds, 6 leaders, 85.7 kilometres to go, and start to get involved. 5 laps of racing to go for the peloton at 2 minutes 40. Led then by the Dutch rider on the front of the group, just pushing on the pace, keeping it as high as he possibly can. That was Axel van der Turk.
Peter Kellerman just getting some information from his race director. Going to have a bike change.
He had a bike change earlier, didn't he? And you said that at some point he would switch back.
Yeah, and this is the point where he's going to get back onto his original bike, so he's feeling quite comfortable about being able to get back into that lead group. And he'll just keep things... Well, some riders will normally ride into a World Championship over a distance of 169.8 kilometres. They wouldn't feel it's that important to warm up. However, today, these riders have jumped onto a circuit where halfway through it, you know, just around the 10-kilometre mark, they've already got a super hard climb. And as we saw, the pace was really high on that first lap. So the riders that didn't warm up, it could have just snapped their legs or cramped up right at the start. So I think it was very important for these riders to have been up some steep climbs.
And finally, the Italians decide time now to rev things up a little bit.
And that's right, we've not seen them contribute to the chase until this point, so they've been very conservative. They do not have a rider in that breakaway. And like the team of Great Britain, when they do a turn on the front, they want to make sure everyone else feels the pain of it.
Just hearing on Radio Tour that Leo Hayter has just been dropped. That's not great news for Great Britain, for a rider that would have been one of their marked riders today, and he had a crash earlier, so he may well be suffering. 50 kilometres an hour for the front group as they make their way back down to Wollongong to complete another lap. Real concentration by the track specialist, Fabio van den Bosch, in the colours of Belgium. Another big attack, right-hand side as we look. Left-hand side of the road as Great Britain up the tempo a little bit more. Coming up to complete another lap. This is going to be 4 laps of racing to go. Fran Maulovic of Croatia, Fabian Weiss of Switzerland, Fabio van den Bosch of Belgium, Peter Kellerman of the Czech Republic, Mathis Lebert of France, Hannes Wilch of Germany. That's the front group of 6 coming up to complete the lap. Motorbikes behind, the TV camera following. You must forget that in order to actually show this race, you need someone standing on the motorbike like that and holding the camera. We go through with only 4 laps to go, 1 minute 45. The average speed now, 42.725 kilometres an hour.
So good to see that he's using it and trying to get across to that breakaway.
8 more riders have just jumped away from the peloton. Here's the arrival of Fedorov. We'll get an idea of the time gap as he goes across the line. 1 minute 46. And then a group of about 7 riders in the gap before the peloton, which is just about to close it. And that group of riders just go across the line now.
Well, even if the peloton hadn't decided that they were going to really put down a hard chase until 3 laps to go, they're forced with 4 laps to go because of just one strong guy jumping off the front. They realise, well, we can't let him get across to the breakaway. He's been sitting in all day, fresh legs.
That chasing group of riders includes Tim van Dijk of the Netherlands, Mateusz Vacek of the Czech Republic, Eric Vetter of Hungary, Oliver Stockwell of Great Britain, Raul Garcia of Spain, Niels Brun of Switzerland, William Lee. Oh! And a crash here. And that's a big crash.
Yeah, super nasty crash there. You get the replay here.
Big fall on the left-hand side. All of these crashes as well are all single riders in a crash. Fedorov is about to be caught.
Well, he had to go, didn't he? Will he get back in and make any more impact on this race? The strongest rider from Kazakhstan. You can see this group of riders working really hard. They are chasing the breakaway and putting a gap behind them back to the peloton. And you can see a little bit of hesitation behind.
Leading through this time with 51.7 kilometres of racing to go. It's the Frenchman who leads. That's Mathis Lebert. And just taking over, Fabio van den Bosch. 29 seconds is the advantage with 51.5 kilometres of racing remaining on this World Championship. Here comes the chasing group of riders. They're not going to be too far behind. Is it going to be 40? It doesn't look like 40 seconds. In this group of riders, we can see David De Preto in the Maglia Azzurra, the blue jersey of Italy. Across the line that time, being led by number 32, Samuel Watson. Perhaps the favourite for Great Britain in this race now, with Leo Hayter being hanging on at the back of the group. The peloton in one long line. So the chasing group of riders is Samuel Watson, Great Britain, Italy's De Preto, Netherlands, Casper van Uden, Matthias Vacek of the Czech Republic. More moves, 35 seconds, 45 kilometres of racing to go.
Well, still a northeasterly wind, so they'll have a little bit of tail crosswind into the finish.
We've got about an hour of racing to go, maybe just on an hour. This rider on the front, Tobias Andresen, stage winner in the Tour de Bretagne. Very, very good climber, member of this DSM development team, 20 years of age. Looks around. Gudmestad comes through for Norway.
Oh, the peloton under...
Oh, crash here. Number of riders have hit the deck.
The South African, the Canadian, the Norwegian rider, Austrians just having trouble getting the chain back on, but they're all back on their bikes safely.
Gudmestad, a member of the UNOX Pro Cycling team, struggling to stay with the rider in front of him.
Oh, Mikholovic has just lost contact. And the front group now breaking up.
This is a concerted effort by the Frenchman to get rid of as many riders as possible. And a real acceleration by Mathis Lebert, who looks supreme today. They were joined by Mikholovic after a little while longer, 145k to go. 2 laps of racing to go. Here's the chase. Chasing group of riders behind them. Still a big group, but it's splintering all the time under the momentum of the attacks. Alexandra Baumer of Switzerland. Jakub Tupolik is the other rider who joins in. They're at 29 seconds. The peloton led by Fedorov, Flynn, Gudmestad. And now for the first time since 152 kilometres to go, this group of 3 is about to get some company. 127 kilometres of a breakaway, and they're about to be joined. France have 2 riders about to join up with their leader here, and finally they're about to be caught.
What an unbelievable effort as they make their way around the second part of the circuit. Not too far from the finish line where they will get the last lap.
Very well done to those 2 riders. 130 kilometres in the breakaway, and it's all together. Four riders on the attack. This time round, the riders in this peloton will be given 1 lap to go. It's been a long and attritional race. 31 riders now in with a chance of winning this world title. We think we'll just count them as they go across the line. As we approach 4:35 in the afternoon here in Wollongong, the leading riders get the bell. 1 lap of racing to go. Seagard is the rider who leads, ahead of Vacek, Fedorov and Lebert. 42.7 kilometers an hour. The gap is 7 seconds. Still 4 riders. Alex Seagard there in the front in the colours of Belgium. That's the light turquoise colours. Vacek of the Czech Republic goes through to the front in the blue, white and red. The Kazakhstan rider is Evgeny Fedorov, who's just finished La Vuelta, and on the back, still on the attack, the Frenchman, Mathis Lebert, starting now to look like he's under pressure, but that's no surprise. This rider's been on the attack from 152 kilometres to go. It's a bit pressured in here now. You can almost feel the tension, can't you?
You can see the pain on some of those faces as well in the group. Belgium's got 3 riders there. A big attack from Switzerland.
Here comes a move of one of the Swiss riders as he tries to go away to make his way to the top of this climb. Looks a little like Barmer again, going on the move.
You're right, Anthony. The pace for Lebert on the climb was too much. He's dropped off. There he is. And all the pressure on Gregoire now of France.
Lebert, what a job this rider's done today.
And I don't think he's finished yet. He might do one more big turn for his teammate, try and pull this breakaway back.
Barmer kicks his way up the base of Mount Pleasant, and one rider who's being distanced is Seagard. Seagard's left wanting on this final climb.
Oh, it's not a good feeling for the Belgian team.
Vacek kicks on. Matthias Vacek, wearing number 35 here, is a strong rider in a breakaway. Barmer kicks on to try and get across, steadily drawing himself slowly but surely up to the front group. Seagard hanging on for all he is worth to just try and get over the top of the climb. Behind, there is still no attack. There are riders waiting for the sprint and hoping this comes all back together. In the past, he's also the road race champion in the past.
Seagard, he's having to just get on the wheel there. That's a good sign.
I would not let Matthias Vacek this far up the road, so close to the end of the World Championships. You have to get to him. Alexander Barmer gives it one last big push to try and get across to give Switzerland a chance of the world title. Look at him go. That's a furious attack by Barmer. Seagard hanging on. Barmer knows that this is the absolutely critical point of the race. Fedorov and Vacek side by side as they make their way over Mount Pleasant. Oh, Barmer almost coming to a standstill there. Just the legs are giving out.
Incredible ride from Fedorov. He has been absolutely sensational, so strong.
It's pretty dark now on this finish line. Starting to see the light fade. Another big attack as Tronchon tries to close this one up for France. Tronchon looking good as he accelerates hard. And Barenschot is towards the back. It's his teammate Per Strand Hagenes who is now there, the junior world champion of last year. And Hagenes could be in with a chance of taking this title. Fedorov and Vacek holding on, 5.5 kilometers to go. They're freewheeling behind. Everyone looks around. They're only a few meters away. They need to close it now, or Vacek or Fedorov will win the world title.
They're closing in quickly, down to 11 seconds.
11 seconds is the advantage. Is it going to come back together? Can they just hold on? 10 seconds. If they mess around, the sprinters will come back. It is Vacek of the Czech Republic, Fedorov of Kazakhstan. They are just in front, but I think they've got enough. They're going to make this final turn. Fedorov in the front, Vacek in second place. Vacek has got a furious sprint on him. It's Fedorov who goes to the left-hand side with 300 metres of racing to go at the end of what has been a thrilling 169.8 kilometres. Fedorov looks him right in the eyes. Varcek gets into the wheel. Varcek looks around. Fedorov goes for the gold. Varcek trying to hold on here. It's going to be a win for Fedorov of Kazakhstan. Varcek takes the silver and taking the bronze. It's between Belgium and Hagenes of Norway on the other side of the road. Here's the sprint. Varcek didn't have it. He looked around and checked that he still had the silver. Fedorov wins. Varcek second. Norway take the bronze. Behind them, Estonia with Madis Mikkels. Olav Koy takes 5th place. Australia gets 7th with Matthew Dinham. Kazakhstan, the last time they won the world title was in 2012 in Limburg, won by Alexei Lutsenko, who that day beat Brian Cochard into 2nd place and Tom van Asbroek into 3rd.